So, Saracens 32, Leicester Tigers 17. Boy, that was a frustrating 80 minutes, wasn't it? So frustrating to watch. Frustrating because we genuinely could have got something from that game. Maybe not a win, but we could have got a losing bonus point. Yeah, just really frustrating. But you can't win against Saracens without a line out. No chance. You can't beat many teams without a line out, but not someone like Saracens. Yeah, very, very frustrating. Getting to the game itself, Sarries showed straight away that they were up for it. Their England boys were on it. There was no sign of tiredness whatsoever. They attacked early on. Benor made a great break down the wing. They just lethaled into that throughout the 80 minutes. But we actually scored the first points of the game. Jamie Shilcock sliding over a penalty, but then the Saracens pretty much dominated from then on, didn't they? They're just absolutely lethal inside the 22. Mario Toje getting the first one, good move off the line out. Earl making another good carry, just so physical, quick ball. We couldn't do anything about it. And I think it was the Toji went over Shilcock and went in. Then 10 minutes later, similar sort of story. Just so physical, so clinical. Christie going over. But then we had the chances. We got inside the 22 and Atoji Ezekwe just absolutely picked off our line out. It was... I was shouting it at the TV. It was so annoying. I think it's so unlike us. That was the most annoying part about it. Our line out is normally very good, but they just found our holes. They'd obviously done their homework. 2-3 times in that first half with inside the 22, they just picked us off. And 14-3 at half time was disappointing because we could have been much closer on the board. Second half started and Vunipola scored. Obviously it looked like that maybe it was held up, but the TMO maybe saw another angle, maybe saw something we couldn't on TV, and they scored like 3 minutes after the break. Jamie George went over for rolling maul pretty soon after, and that was kind of the game at that point. But finally, 57 minutes in, we had something to cheer about. Whiteley doing a great bit of footballing skill to block Farrell's kick, and then he went over, collected, and went over for his try. Farrell slotted over a penalty from the scrum, as their scrum kind of got on top. We were pretty, not dominant, but we got a few penalties in the first half, but their scrum got on top and they got a penalty. But then, moment of the game, and an early shout for moment of the season. Jamie Shilcock. I didn't think I could love him anymore after last week, and then he goes and does that. Just an absolutely outstanding handoff. Owen Farrell just treading water, fell on the floor. So brilliant to see. But it's a really good try as well. I think Josh Bassett got his hands on the ball for the first time in the match, made a couple of good carries. Solomon Okata, he made another good carries. He was brilliant off the bench. And absolutely brilliant finish from Jamie Shilcock. Just what a man, what a player he is. Faz slotted over one more penalty before the end. Obviously we had possession at the end. We could have scored another try, but wasn't meant to be. So Saracens 32, Leicester Tigers 17. Very, very frustrating. But the key stats I've got here, obviously these might change as they review the footage, but 7 entries from Saracens, 29 points. Compared that to 9 entries from us and only 14 points. It's been an issue throughout the 4 games. We're just not efficient enough inside the 22. We're getting there, but we're just not scoring the points, and that is very frustrating. And then it only says we lost 4 lineouts, but I think that's wrong. It felt like we lost 6 or 7 lineouts. As I said, it's very unlike us, so hopefully that was just a blip. I'm sure McKellar will be hitting that hard in the training, looking towards Harlequins, but you're not winning anything against Saracens with a line out. So dysfunction as that. The scrums took a positive for about 60 minutes. They won a few penalties, obviously near the end. The Saracens came through, maybe a bit of tiredness from Hurd, but standouts itself. Tommy Reffel won a few turnovers, 13 tackles, and made some really good carries as well. maybe this is something he's learnt in the Welsh team. I know that was the reason he didn't actually get into the Wales team originally, was for his carrying skills, but he looks like he's bulked up quite a bit, and it looks like he's added a bit of carrying to his game. Will Hurt had already said about the scrums, but 77 minutes when you weren't expecting to start is some shift. Only his second Premiership start as well. Won a few penalties early on. Yeah, brilliant shift from Will. Solomon Akata, already said as well, looked really, really good off the bench. Just maybe that oomph that we've been missing in the back line. Just, yeah, his legs are huge. He's carrying machine. For me, he's got to start next week. I'd put him at 12, either Porter or Kelly outside him, both of which have not been quite the best to start the season with. But yeah, Cattle was a big positive for me, but player of the match, yet again, that man, Jamie Shilcock. God, just what a man. Even if he had a pretty bad game, I'd probably give him player of the match after that handoff, but he had a very decent game as well. We obviously used his boot to more than we have recently. Whiteley didn't really box kick too much from our clearances, passed it back. Something that I think Ireland and Leinster do with Lowe. Obviously he's got a wicked left boot as Shilcock. And looked good in attack, had a few good carries. And I think, again, next week he's got to start. Whether he starts at 10 and we have Pollard off the bench, obviously because Pollard will only join us on Monday, or even if we push Stewart to the wing and have Jamie at 15, I feel like he's got to start next week. He's been absolutely brilliant these last few games. But yeah, it was very strange. It's a frustrating watch, but on to next week. I think we all saw the teams and expected what the result would be. And to be only 15 points lost is probably not too bad at all. And it's a place that we'd struggle with even if it was the first team. But yeah, on to next week against Harlequins. Obviously internationals hopefully going to be back, and to me it's got to be a must win. Obviously 1 from 4 so far. If it's 1 from 5, I don't think we can catch up that to make the top 4. Top 4. So it's going to be an absolute huge game, must win for me, and hopefully there's going to be a good crowd there. So yeah, on to next week.